Scott Drew with us here on 365 Sports, Baylor head basketball coach. And Coach, I got to ask you one thing that's been on my mind since the other night. My wife had very specific dinner plans, so I decided not to go to the Cincinnati game, even though I was like, we're finally back from vacation. I need to get out to the stadium for a Big 12 game. And my favorite athlete of all time is sitting next to Chip Gaines and Bo Jackson. Did you get to meet Bo Jackson?
Actually, I have before, and that's the perks of coming to the Foster. You never know who's going to be there. So I'm glad you had that date night, had a good time. But if you come to the Foster, you never know what might be there.
Hey, look, I just know I was looking at Twitter, watching the game. I'm checking on Twitter. Things are going on, and then I just see a quick little flash on TV. I was like, "Who's that with Chip? He looks familiar." I think that's Bo Jackson. And then I was like, it's Bo Jackson. I was like, of all the nights, you have to play it cool, Scott, with the date nights. Oh, well, that would have been the second best thing we did tonight.
Hey, one thing I know a lot of people that are younger don't realize, but I believe Bo's the only athlete to ever be all-pro in football, in the NFL, and Major League Baseball. And he could have been an Olympic sprinter. I think it was a 10.980 ran. And that's at like T20. I mean, what an athlete. Like, you can Google all that stuff and fact check it. But what a great athlete.
Hey, 4.1940. That is best, which is ridiculous. Yeah. It is absolutely ridiculous. He probably would have been a great basketball player as well, and no one would want to get in the way of him driving down the court. So in the last couple of weeks, you guys have really coalesced well on defense, and that was kind of the struggle early in the year. How much of that is tweaking little schematic things, and how much of it is just in today's college basketball, you don't really get to hit the ground running with a bunch of guys who have played together for very long, and it takes a while for everybody to learn the dance steps, so to speak?
Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at bestbuy.com and upgrade your tech today.
100%. And then as coaches, you adjust what you like to do based on what's best for the personnel of the team. And so I think the longer we're together, the better we'll be. And that's where people that have been together 2-3 years have a big advantage. But the ones that are just coming together have bigger upside. So it's a race to the finish line. And we're doing a great job. I think again the some years, and probably most teams that have won it all would tell you they were just really blessed without injuries those years or less injuries. And we've had 8 days of practice, I believe, where everybody has been available and we've been able to compete and go hard. So until we get Langston, Jalen back, and they're making great progress. There'll be a game time decision come this weekend and Tuesday. But until you can get those practice reps and continue to grow in that continuity and chemistry. I mean, coaches understand the importance of practice. I've said this before. It's like cooking. I don't cook well, but if I made chocolate chip cookies or if I made a good dessert, if you don't have all the ingredients, the dessert doesn't taste the same. And you got to have all the ingredients. And for us, everybody being in practice, that allows us to perform well when it comes to game time. So praying that we can get healthy, stay healthy the rest of the year so we can see just how good we can become.
I want to speak to Langston really quickly because in his time here, he's been through, I mean, he tore his ACL before he even got to play a game here and had to wait. And I don't know if I know a story of a kid who just battles through it like him. What is it? Is it just in his nature? I mean, he clearly loves the game a lot to deal with this over and over again. And because of the nature of sports, like sometimes you can't get healthy until you stop. Well, you can't stop while you're kind of in it, right?
Yeah, and he's had some unfortunate bad breaks, and what I mean by that is getting his eye scratched in a game. I mean, everybody has those kind of risks, freak injuries, the pec muscle lifting. I mean, just a bunch of things that in lightweights, not like heavyweights or anything. So it speaks to his toughness character to want to come back, want to play, want to compete. And as a coach, kind of like as a parent, if you've ever had a son that's or daughter that's been sick or injured, you're like, you just feel for them because you know how much they care and how much they want to be out there. And then the good thing is when coaches are able to see who can help the team and who can't. And when you can tell they can help, that's when they can play. And you love guys that want to get back out on the court and want to try, because then it's really you're able to see just how close they are. And one thing about this team, we do got toughness. We got guys that want to be out there, want to compete, want to get better. So as a coach, you feel good with that, because that's not always the case. I mean, everything's always up to the individual, and it's a lot easier to go to war with someone that you know wants to be there and have your back.
You and your staff did a very good job in the early days of the transfer portal, when it was get a guy, he's got to sit out a bit and then come in. Now, all that process is accelerated. How much and how quickly did you have to change that, given what we talked about earlier of, you know, having to have that chemistry come together faster than having guys, you know, Jared and Davion in the gym for a year, just kind of waiting it out and building the relationship that way, in a way that you really you can't have anymore, because they can be in the gym for the summer, but once the season starts, it's you know, all guys playing together.
Yeah, and that's where there's always strengths and weaknesses, advantages, disadvantages to everything. The advantages to sitting out is it allows you to really work on your game. You can spend extra time in the weight room, extra time on the court, because if you get tired or wore out, you don't have to be fresh for games. Plus, you can work on improving a skill or a craft and not have the national judgment in a game like he can't shoot, versus going up in baby steps and having 9 months to make an impression, an improvement. Does that make sense? Without the negative feedback. And so there is a lot of advantages to being able to do that. Plus, you learn every other offense, defense from so your mental capacity, plus your familiarity with what your coaching staff wants and how they want to play, and you learn a lot by watching there and seeing it. So those are advantages. Advantages playing right away, obviously, is you don't have to spend a year where you're not allowed to play, and everybody wants to play right away. Nobody likes to sit. So as a coaching staff, everything in life, you have to either adjust or you get left behind. So you figure it out, come up with the best system. And I think our staff really does a great job of trying to identify people that are great representatives of Baylor University, Central Texas, in the community. None of us are perfect. We're all saved through grace, through faith. But at the end of the day, we got a lot of guys that are great representatives. They embrace preparing champions for life, spiritual, academic, character formation, and athletic. They care about representing the community well. They give back to the community. So our staff's really done a great job in putting together a group of guys that represent us well. Now it's just a matter of getting healthy, seeing what we can become when we are, and until then, just keep finding ways to compete and win games.
You make your first trip to Tempe as conference members this week, and that's a team that just new to it, but they're 10-4, 1-2 in the conference. They had Kansas down at half in Allen Fieldhouse the other day before Kansas came roaring back. What have you seen from the Sun Devils, and what kind of challenges do they pose?
Well, first and foremost, it's really hard to win on the road. They have 2 road losses. They have 1 home game. They beat Colorado by 20 at home. So at the end of the day, you really got to play well to win on the road. People want to know basketball. The crowds make a big impact. That's why only 33% of the road teams won last year, and that's why the crowd's so important for us when we come here. And it gives you energy, gives you enthusiasm, excitement, allows you to play better. So Arizona State's a team that can really shoot the three. They got some really good size and length at the 5, and at the same time, at home, they can really put up numbers in a hurry. So we got to be on point. We got to be ready to go.
Now, look, I know that Bobby Hurley's son is playing for them now, but when you look across at Bobby Hurley, do you still see like 1992 Duke dribbling up the court?
I'll be honest, he's got good enough players. I don't have time to look at him. We got to watch see what's going on in the game. But he was he all-time assist leader in college basketball. Huge respect for him and his family. The Hurley's Hall of Fame basketball family, and we know how hard it is being in this profession. So much respect.
Yeah. Last thing before I let you go, has anything? The league's still very tough. It didn't get easier at all. I mean, you're not going to add teams to get easier. Is there anything that surprised you about the early going of the league, or is it too early to find a trend yet since you're only 3 games in?
Yeah, I think the one trend is every game is and again, this year the SEC right now analytically is ahead of us. They're having a special year. We're still the second best conference, and in the last 10 years. I think 8 out of 10 years we've been the best. So it's because top to bottom, every place in every staff and every coach, every player that we go against, it's the Big 12, and there's no off nights. And if you're not ready, you have no chance. And if you're prepared, it gives you a chance, but doesn't guarantee anything.
Coach Scott Drew, we'll always love having you on, Coach. Good luck. Enjoy Tempe.
Well, I appreciate you, and thanks for all that you guys do. Thanks for the great home court advantage you give us, and we're excited to get out of this snow and ice. And when we get back, you know that Texas weather, it'll probably be 80 and sunny.
That's right. Scott Drew with us here on 365 Sports.